A lot of his fans here from Toronto. The Blue Jays are in town to play the Cleveland Indians, so many here at the fight to cheer Ruddock on. Let's check the tail of the tape for this 10-round heavyweight affair. Both are 28. Ruddock at 6'3" with a 2-inch height advantage. Razor the weight advantage of 16 pounds, and the reach Ruddock 82 inches. And Jackson, he just didn't want to be measured. His camp declined our request to measure him. All right, that's showbiz. To the rules of Ohio, 10-point must scoring system. 3 judges scoring the fight. No standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. Referee or doctor can stop the fight. Fighter cannot be saved by the bell except in the final round. So here at the Convocation Center at Cleveland State University, we are getting set for our main event. Let's go up to our ring announcer, Wilma Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the singing of our national anthem, sung by Gene King.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the rampart we watched was so gallantly gleaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in the air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the hope of the brave.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance and sports fans joining us from around the world tonight, welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, and the Cleveland State Convocation Center as Don King Productions in association with Murad Mohammed 3M Promotions present the main event of the evening. This event is sanctioned by the Ohio Boxing Commission, Commissioner Joseph Gennaro. The physicians at ringside, Robert Radu and Clarence Higgins. The timekeeper at the bell, Frank Tomorrow. The keeper of the knockdowns, George Whitbread. And presenting the judges at ringside, Doug Patterson, Richard Stewart, and Kathy Terrell. The referee in charge of this bout is Tony Perez. All right, boxing fans, here we go. The main event, a heavyweight bout scheduled for 10 rounds. Introducing to you first, in the blue corner, in the black trunks, hailing from Miami, Florida, he weighed in at 217 pounds, with an undefeated record of 25-0, 23 by knockout. He is number 9 ranked WBA and WBC heavyweight contender. Please welcome Phillip Jackson. opponent across the ring in the red corner, wearing white trunks, fighting out of Toronto, Canada, by way of St. Catharines, Jamaica. He weighed in at 233 pounds, and his record is 26 wins, 3 losses, and 1 draw, with 19 knockouts. Please welcome the #1 ranked WBC heavyweight contender, Razor Ruddock.
We gave the most important rules to the trainers, all right? Now, don't forget, 3 knockdown rule is in effect, and you must forget, give me a good clean fight. I will not bother neither one of you. Remember 2 things: obey my commands and protect yourself at all times. Shake hands, and good luck to both of you.
Final instructions from referee Tony Perez. There is Phillip Jackson with Pat Burns. He's the sergeant from the Miami Police. And Razor Ruddock, the #1 contender, the slugger, the man with the big left. They call it the smash. But let's see if he implements more of what Floyd Patterson has been trying to teach him. Work some jabs, combinations, throw the right to the body, get the better balance, go to the footwork, and let's see how it works out.
Remember, Jackson not too impressed with being in front of Razor Ruddock because he worked with him in Miami, so it's not like he walked out there and got scared by this huge guy, but he still's got to perform in front of a big crowd here. He's never faced anybody with the kind of power and with the kind of prestige and high ranking that Razor Ruddock has. Let's see what effect it has on him.
Jackson said he wasn't invited back to spar with Ruddock because he looked too good. I asked Razor about that. He said he didn't remember him, and Delroy Ruddock, his brother, his manager, reminded him that, yes, indeed, Phillip Jackson worked twice as a sparring partner with Razor Ruddock.
Right now, he doesn't give any indication he has any desire to have an offense there. He's just picking off jabs and looking at Razor Ruddock.
On Wednesday, Ruddock told us he'll be trying to work more of Patterson's stuff in. And he is not taking any chances tonight. He's risking his #1 status. Jackson told us he thinks Ruddock is taking him too lightly and looking ahead. And when I asked Ruddock if heavyweight champ Evander Holyfield was avoiding him, he answered with a resounding yes. He said he's not taking any chances. Oh, what a right hand! A right hand, I underlined, by Razor Ruddock.
And that was a Floyd Patterson right hand. He set it up with a nice, brisk left jab and then popped it right over, just like Floyd teaches.
Well, remember in his last fight with Greg Page, Patterson was pleading with Ruddock to use the right more. He may not have to do much pleading if he continues to do it that way.
Well, if Jackson doesn't start fighting back here pretty soon, they're going to eat him up, because you just can't fight picking off punches from a superior big man like this. He'll just come right through you.
Jackson fighting most of his career as a cruiserweight. His last 8 fights as a heavyweight, all knockouts. Solid blows by Ruddock. Jackson looking to answer back.
He better answer back, because he's just going to eat a lot of that leather and end up on the canvas if he doesn't fight back some. Right now, he looks like he is frozen. He looks like he is absolutely impressed with where he's at and not loose at all. They got to do a big job on him on the corner if he makes it to the corner.
Jackson has not worked up much of a sweat, and that's not a good sign. And it is intensely hot in here.
It's hard to sweat through ice.
Ruddock looks like he wants to set up the right hand.
He's positioning him for that right hand, and Jackson should be doing something to get him off his game plan. He should be throwing some counter right hands of his own. There's the bell.
Can you hear me? Okay. This could be a very, very easy fight. Okay. All you do is keep that jab in his face. You can't miss him. Behind the jab, you can do anything. You can throw the right hand, you can do anything behind the jab. But keep the jab in his face. All right?
Quick jab.
And that will discourage the hell out of him.
Let's take a look at that picture-perfect right hand. Watch the jab, the jab. Now, here comes the right. Whoom, just like Floyd teaches. It's a miracle. That didn't take him. And then comes an uppercut to just drive home the lesson that he's in with a championship fighter, championship-type fighter. And Razor Ruddock has driven home 2 strong points and won that round big.
A very concerned look on the face of Phillip Jackson as we begin round 2, scheduled for 10.
I'll say this. He took 2 punches that could have floored him. He stayed up, so he's got a little something in his jaw. He has never been down. Jackson has never been knocked out, so let's see what Razor Ruddock can do to that record.
And Ruddock, really an imposing figure. Goes 6'3", 233, has the big reach advantage. Phillip Jackson said he's going to have to get off first, but that's not the case so far. Looking to wait his turn when Razor, or if Razor, is ever off balance.
Right now, this is all Razor.
Oh.
This is just a guy waiting for the roof to fall in on him.
Well, Jackson has had to fight many bigger men in the past, so he said that Ruddock's size is not a concern. He has the basic tools, says Jackson.
What is a concern is the superior technique of Razor Ruddock, and the way he's landing clean blows from a very big man like that makes for short evenings.
Well, Ruddock fighting 2 courageous matches with Mike Tyson, going a total of 19 rounds. In the first fight, he really rocked Tyson, but the fight was stopped prematurely by Richard Steele. That's when Tyson said Razor punches like a mule kick, and I cleaned that up for you.
Yeah, I think there was close to what he said.
And in the second meeting, Ruddock's jaw was broken by Tyson in the 4th round, but Razor went the distance anyway. So that has to tell you something about him.
Yeah, he has heart, he has size, he has speed, he has everything to make a heavyweight champion. All he's got to do is have the opportunity and then produce on that night.
And Greg Page showed heart, even though he lost, stopped in the 9th to Razor Ruddock. We asked Pat Burns about Phillip Jackson's ticker, and he said he's got a heart like a racehorse. So we'll see what develops. A glancing blow by Ruddock, not a solid shot. And a good left jab there by Phillip Jackson.
Yeah, he's got to get on track. He's got to start doing something of his own. There you go. He's got to start coming back at something, or else this is going to be a one-way shutout.
You look at Jackson, he's got the short, crisp movements, good reflexes. A left and a counter left by Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson, as we've seen on the tape, has 1-punch power. And he's dangerous. He's always dangerous. He comes back in very unorthodox moves, even though he's well schooled in basics by Pat Burns.
He's got the effective jab, but Pat Burns said it's been hard to get him to use it more frequently. And that is it for round 2.
Breathe. Much better round. Much better round. Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Okay, you found out one thing in that round. You can't get to him with the jab. You got to him. The jab looked much better that round. You got to him. You also staggered him a couple times. Okay? We need a little bit more offense out of you. The jab is, you found your range. Now we just got to execute a little bit more. One of the things that I like that you did in this thing is you're moving a little bit more to your right, which is what we want to do.
As I said before, anything you do behind the jab. All right? Are you listening? Yeah. Okay.
He falls to everything.
But keep the jab out there. He falls for everything.
here, Floyd. Be patient, okay? I'm patient, all right? Step around, okay? Move around him and use that jab. Just concentrate on the jab. Double do not move, slipping, you know what I mean? Relax. Don't go for the one big.
Well, we may be looking at a jab fest coming up. You heard both corners. Pat Burns says, well, if there's one thing you learned from round 2, you can get to him with the jab. There's the jab by Jackson, and then Floyd Patterson urging Ruddock to use the jab more.
And he forgot to say one thing. You be first. With the jab, that's what counts. Ooh, solid shot.
Heavy left there by Ruddock. Ferocious.
And look what Jackson put right behind it. He came right back with another hard punch. He missed, but you could see he can punch. You can see Jackson's power. He's got one punch power, and that's dangerous.
Jackson facing his first world-rated opponent tonight. Out of the PAL gym of Pat Burns in Miami. Had some minor brushes with the law as a youngster, but turned it around. There's a lunging left hand by Ruddock. And now Phillip Jackson instructs kids in that same gym where he got so much great instruction. Won the Florida Golden Gloves title 3 times. And the national PAL title lost on decision to Tommy Morrison.
Incredible that Jackson, with that extremely short arm span, which he wouldn't let us measure, he just said, I have the wings of an eagle. And I took his word for it because he's bigger now. But he's got very short arms. And he's still getting to this very tall guy with a jab. Tells you something about his reflexes. And it tells you something about Ruddock is not paying attention.
And what's also incredible, he's the same age as Ruddock, but he started fighting at the age of 21. Oh, a crunching double left hand by Razor Ruddock. But Jackson hanging in there tough. He's got a great chin.
Great chin, and he came back with a heavy punch. Boy, there is no dog in Jackson. He came back with a heavy punch, and he took some hard shot. Well, I would think there's going to be some heart palpitations going on in Razor Ruddock's corner, because from the way this guy's throwing those punches, if one of those things connect, it could explode on the chin of Razor Ruddock, and his championship ambitions could go right out the front door.
Wild left by Razor Ruddock. And Phillip Jackson is certainly not intimidated. If he was by this environment before, not now.
I just wonder what keeps him up, because he's been hit by...
Oh, and down he goes on cue.
And that's the answer to that question.
He gets up. Was that right in the solar plexus?
It was hard to tell. We'd have to see it on replay. It was a very hard shot.
Right in the chest area by Razor Ruddock, and down went Jackson, but he got up. He seems to be okay. His eyes are focused, not that bloodshot.
He'll make it to the end of the round. And just when we were saying that he can really take it, he got nailed. Let's listen to Pat Burns.
Breathe and relax. Breathe and relax. Okay. All right, Phil. What's happening is, when he gets into range, you're not firing. You're allowing him to set up. Do you understand? He's moving into range. You're not firing. He's setting up, and he's getting off. Phil.
Let's take a good look at that, and let's see what dropped him. Well, that was a punch right on the head. That was not in the solar plexus. It was right on the jaw. And let's take another look at that. He cocks his arm, and down he goes. I mean, that is a picture-perfect punch. And as if it's not enough to see it in 2 views, let's look at it from the 3rd view, so it convinces you beyond all shadow of a doubt he should have gone down. He did go down, but he got up. And he didn't get up in bad shape, by the way. He got up firing himself. Let's see what he does this round.
Round 4 scheduled for 10. We'll see if Jackson does have the heart of a racehorse.
Well, Pat Burns could have motivated him, said what we learned that round was that we can get up from a punch.
Yes. Another wicked left by Ruddock there to start off the 4th round. Our backs were to that punch, and from our vantage point, it looked like it was to the solar plexus or chest, but it was actually to the head.
Right on the jaw, right where it should have knocked him out.
Oh, a solid left by Phillip Jackson.
And a good punch by Razor Ruddock. You see, he's been taught when Razor drops that left hand with that sweeping hook to fire immediately. That was his training plan. He just executed it for the first time then. See how he drops his hand to punch?
And back comes Phillip Jackson, tagging Razor Ruddock. And that gets the crowd going, rooting for the underdog. Jackson very feisty.
He's a gamecock. He's a gamecock. He's in here to fight. He is not taking anything from this big guy. He's coming on.
And you know what Ruddock's doing? He's reverting back. He's using the left hand.
He certainly is.
And that's what boxers do sometimes, don't they? They revert to what's comfortable for them.
That's what everybody does. You go back to what works for you before they start teaching you something else in anything.
And that has to be frustrating Floyd Patterson somewhat. Here's the smash. It's a half overhand, half hook. Some say the best left hand of the sport by Razor Ruddock. Overhand right. That was defended well by Ruddock.
Well, he's not winning anything but respect here, is Phillip Jackson. He has been in every round, trying very hard. Got up from a tough knockdown. He almost went down again.
He's staggered. Down to one knee is Phillip Jackson. Second knockdown in the fight. He's out. Tony Perez counted to 10. Jackson never got up. Here in round 4, it is all over.
Well, he gave him a good fight. He was brave. He certainly looked like he was overwhelmed by size and the pinpoint accuracy of a major puncher like Razor Ruddock. But he did not freeze. He came out, he gave it all, his all. He can go back to Miami with his head held high because he really did put on a show of trying hard.
I was very impressed with Phillip Jackson. Donovan Razor Ruddock, though, knocks him out here in the 4th round and lifts his record to 27-3-1 with 20 knockouts. His only losses, 2 to Tyson, 1 to Dave Jaco back in 1985. And a show of sportsmanship there. So the slugger, Donovan Razor Ruddock, stays #1.
Well, he's certainly impressed in that performance. He was fighting a smaller guy, but a really gutty guy who has a great deal of heart and a great deal of iron in his jaw, but nobody can take that kind of pounding. Shots from a big guy like that, nobody can take.
And Floyd Patterson goes over to give a consoling tap on the shoulder to the loser, Phillip Jackson. Razor Ruddock, his older brother Delroy Ruddock, right there on the right of your screen. It's all in the family with the Ruddocks.
How you feel? Danny?
So what's next? Is it Lennox Lewis in late October? Is it one more hurdle to get to a title shot? Time will tell.
Let's take a look at that final punishing series of punches. I think it was 2 punches that really finally did him in. He caved in on the first one, and then it was just a finisher by Razor. I'll say one thing, Donovan can finish you off when he gets you. There's a good hook, and he's gone right there and comes back, waiting the uppercut, crunches him down. It's kind of a crumple down, and I think his better senses took over and said, I think I better not get up.
And it really wasn't one of those fights where you say it's just a matter of time with Phil Jackson, because he was hanging in there.
Yeah, that was a better view of the hook. You could see what damage it was. Actually, that didn't land as hard as it looked. It was just that long looping punch that did it, and a wear down. He's just was worn out. Let us go, for sake of mercy, to look at it the 3rd time, so there's no doubt that that was one of the hard hooks of the evening, and that the second one was unnecessary.
And Phillip Jackson went down to one knee, never got up, as Tony Perez counted him out. Donovan Razor Ruddock shaking hands with his fans, many of them coming from Toronto. A very personable young man who has his sights set on a title shot someday soon in the near future with Evander Holyfield. His promoter, Murad Muhammad, alongside. We're standing by for the official time of the knockout. Let's go to our ring announcer, Wilma Smith.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a round of applause for both fighters. Referee in charge, Tony Perez, stops the bout at 2 minutes, 12 seconds of the 4th round for the winner by knockout, the #1 heavyweight contender in the world, Donovan Razor Ruddock.
Thank you. Doc, you see them jabs? You see them jabs? This is just what? We just started.
There you have it. 2:12 of the 4th. Donovan Razor Ruddock. Let's check the entire list of #1 contenders for Evander Holyfield's heavyweight crown. A list that includes tonight's winner, of course, Donovan Razor Ruddock, who is the WBC's main man. And if Holyfield wants to keep the WBC belt, he has to fight the winner of a Ruddock versus Lennox Lewis match. Ruddock beat Lewis in the Canadian Olympic trials. WBA #1 contender Pierre Coetzee will face Riddick Bowe in July. The winner of that bout is scheduled to fight the champion. And IBF #1 contender George Foreman has already lost to Evander Holyfield. Let's take a look and a listen to the crunching finish. 2:12, round 4. Donovan Razor Ruddock over Phillip Jackson. There it is, a sound that was not music to the ears of Phillip Jackson. So Razor Ruddock maintains his #1 status, and he is standing by in the ring with our man, the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco.
The jab, the jab, the jab, and then finally the jab. Is that what Mr. Floyd taught you?
Yeah, he said I must lead up behind the jab, working with the jab, and then launch an attack after the jab. He said work everything behind the jab, and I'll think it in there. I like the way I boxed tonight.
Were you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm very comfortable. But first of all, I'd like to say hi to Kevin Manelli in Florida, and also Jim Weinberg. All right, guys.
Whoever that is,
don't worry,
I'm sure
they know who they are.
They appreciate it. Floyd, you who have taught the jab so hard, were you satisfied with what you saw? It looks like it's coming.
Well, I'll never be satisfied. I'm always going to be trying to get him to do more and more and more. He'll never do the maximum, but we're going to head for it. I'm satisfied, and I'm happy with what happened tonight, but there's still many more things, and I'm very anxious to show him.
Very good. This guy, was he as tough as he looked? Because he just kept taking those shots.
He's tough. You know, he's a very strong fighter. Anyone going there with 25 fights and 23 knockouts, you got to take very seriously. But I have a lot of confidence in my ability, and I feel very strong. I feel good. I came down in weight. I'm weighing 230 pounds, and I'm feeling dynamite.
Did you
Holyfield, brother, I want you next.
All right, did you feel his punch at all? Because he looked like he was throwing real hard.
He's throwing real hard punches, but I was watching him very carefully because he's a very strong fighter. Right. So I was
we're racking up a replay so both Floyd and you can see them. This is the first knockdown now. Not the end of the fight, but the first knockdown. You can comment. The left. And
left hook.
What do you see, Floyd?
Powerful left hook.
That was a very good left hook. I didn't think he was going to get up on that one.
He was thinking. He was thinking there. You could see him saying, is it worth it to get up or not? And now let's look at the end of the fight and watch this tremendous left. I think it's a hook. Comment.
There we go.
Now the next one wasn't necessary because I don't even think you landed the next one. He just folded down. Well, Floyd.
In all actuality, that was a feint. He made it seem like he was throwing the jab and he turned into a left hook.
And that was a classic maneuver.
Right. Everybody will fall for that, even me.
Even you have in your day. Yes, as we all remember.
I'd like to say happy birthday to one of my trainers, Ali Halbert's daughter, Barbara, back in New Jersey. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Howie Albert, a happy crew with Murad Muhammad. And let's see where your opponent is, everyone. I'm looking for Jackson. Jackson has left. Unfortunately, he's left.
Come out of retirement now. We undefeated guy. They said we didn't have a left hook or a right hand or a jab. You saw it all tonight.
It's just coming together.
And of course, the man who can make it all possible, and usually does, Don King. What do you see when you see this tonight? Big money?
Yes, I do, and I think the most important thing is he should get the opportunity to fight Holyfield for the title. Holyfield has been dodging everybody, stepping